What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to Phantom TCG. It's been a little bit over a month. It's been a while since I've been on here. I know we've all been busy. Holiday season's coming up, and hopefully you've been buying some cards and paying attention to what's going on out there. So we haven't covered Scarlet and Violet that much, right? I was not that excited with Scarlet and Violet. I do feel like there have been a few big hitters and a couple of the sets. Of course, you have your Magic card, which was crazy, right? Still up there in price. And you have your Greninja. There's a lot of good cards, right? There are some good art, like you have your Terrapagos and stuff like that. So, but generally it seems like Pokemon starts to kind of pick up on the latter half of the sets, right? So right now in Scarlet and Violet, we're on the second half right now. And I believe Scarlet and Violet is going to wrap up right around 2026. So right now, of course, we're about to hit 2025 and the sets are starting to heat up. That's what it looks like right now. So we recently received a Greninja. And then, of course, we have Surgeon Sparks, right? Surgeon Sparks came out, and there's quite a few good cards in that set as well. Quite a few big hitters in there that I actually like. There's a lot of good artwork. Of course, your Latias, Latios, your Pikas. Even the gold Pika is really up there right now. And we're going to talk about some of that. We're going to talk about the market. My last few videos, I was going over a few of the sets that I am completing right now, roughly 12 different sets. If you are interested in those videos, look at my channel, look at some of the recent videos I made, and you'll see kind of where I'm at. A lot of vintage stuff, Call of Legends, we have Holland Phantom, stuff like that. But I am still collecting. But today, I think it's just, it's great to catch up on the market, right? Because it's been a minute. And we want to see what it's doing. We want to take a look at it. I do have people hitting me up as far as comments, wanting me to touch back on some stuff, especially the ponchos in the market, and see what they're doing right now. It's been roughly, a year since I've talked about stuff like that. So there's just a ton of stuff. And one thing that really caught my eye are the Pokemon Center promos. They are going off right now. So we know that the Pokemon Center promos tend to go for money. Of course, more than your typical ETBs that you find inside of the department store. So if you don't know, the difference is, right, if you buy a Pokemon ETB, you will get a promo inside of that ETB, but it will not have a Pokemon Center stamp on the bottom right, which is what you see right now on TCG Player for this Snorlax. So you see the Pokeball and it says Pokemon Center. That is the difference. The difference is you have to buy these ETPs, the Pokemon Center exclusive ETBs on the Pokemon Center. Now, in the past, right, these would come out, they would sit for a while, and they would take a while to get gobbled up. And of course, there are times that Pokemon Center will restock some of these. Now, we don't know what's going to happen right now for the newer sets, but I am keeping an eye on that because as far as the artwork on these promos, they are going up in value. And the first one we're going to talk about and look at right here is the Snorlax Pokemon Center exclusive from Scarlet and Violet right here. So a near mint holofoil is going for a staggering $150 right now on TCG Player. But of course, we want to look at the market data to see what the last solds are actually going for. Right now, it is roughly selling right around $129.69, $125, $124. So right around, mid $125. Even an LP holofoil went for $108. So if you want a lightly played holofoil of this card for this Snorlax, it still is going to run about $108, which is not cheap by any means. That is absolutely crazy, especially since this ETB, they run about $59. So if you buy the ETB for $59, the promo is free. Now it's going for over $100. And that's not even talking about grading territory if you grade. And of course, if you pull something big worth pulling out of the ETB, then you're up even more. But the point of this video is not to talk about to go out there and buy every Pokemon Center promo that's out there, right? Because everything is volatile. You have to look at the market yourself and you have to choose what you want to put your money on. It's hard to say if this is a long-term hold. The markets work in waves, things ebb and flow. We've seen a lot of weird things for Pokemon. Even back as far as 2018, we had a boom, right? COVID, all that stuff. And then we looked at Pokemon and you had the Japanese market take off. It kind of cooled off. You had the waifu market take off. It's kind of cooling off. And now stuff like this, you have these promos taking off. You have Evolving Skies. We've talked about that many times. The booster boxes are like $700-$850. They're up there. They're close to $1,000, right? You have the Umbreon taking off. which is crazy because the Umbreon VMAX, the Moonbreon from Evolving Skies from Sword and Shield, it's hitting over $2,000 for a PSA 10. And a lot of people didn't think that would be possible because if you look at the pop report, it's sitting right around 27,000 or it's like, no, excuse me, that's the Van Gogh, right? That's still sitting up there too. It's like $400. I think the Moonbreon is right around like 14 to 15,000 PSA 10s. That is a lot. But what we have to understand and remember is the economic portion of it, where the demand is still higher than the supply, right? So there's more people out there who want that Moonbreon, regardless of the 15,000 PSA 10s, right? We're starting to see the raw prices, surpass $1,000, which is absolutely crazy. That is absolutely crazy. So yeah, so this is one of the promos, right? So the second one, we're going to look at another amazing artwork. So this is another promo that recently came out, the Magneton number 159 Pokemon Center exclusive Scarlet and Violet promo card. So right now it is going for $46.95. So still much cheaper than the Snorlax, but it is much newer as well. So if we're looking at the market data for this one, the last few sales have been close to about $50, which is also crazy because if you compare these to the ones that come out of the regular ETBs, they're like $3 to $5. They might hit like 15, right? Give or take. But just that Pokemon Center stamp, because, once these sell out, they don't come back. And that's what makes these more exclusive. You only buy what you can from Pokemon Center. If they do not restock them, that's it. There's a high demand and a rarity that makes these cards sought after. And the artwork for this one is also stunning. I'm pretty sure it's the same artist, correct me if I'm wrong, from the Giratina artwork from Lost Origin, as well as the Magikarp, the huge Magikarp right now. So this one definitely could go up in the future as well. A beautiful card. Love this card. And then another one we are going to talk about will be this one. We're not going to hit all of the promos. This one is the Pikachu EX. This one has grown on me. At first, I did not like it, but you have to see it in person. I was never a fan of anything terrestrialized, jeweled, all this weird shit, right? Like, I'm not really into it. I'm going to be honest with you. The Terra stuff is not my thing. But some of these cards, like the Alolan Executor, is beautiful, right? Some of them, they still hit. And this Pikachu EX is one of them, right? I am a huge Pika fan, but if you see this in person, the way the card shines and the way the borders hit. Look at the rainbow border on the outside. It's not silver. It's not yellow. It's all colors, and it is absolutely stunning. Now, this card has been really hard to hit. It is coming down in price, right? It is the biggest hit inside of Surging Sparks, and there is a lot of hype behind it because Pika's a flagship Pokemon. So right now on TCG, it's sitting around $450. Recent sales are $460, $430, $487. So close to $500, about mid $400 range. The high was $660. The low sell price, somebody got lucky at $278. Probably classified it as an LP or something like that out of the box and sold it for cheap, right? But I could see this card coming down. That's typically the way Pokemon works, right? It comes out, the hype builds, it skyrockets, goes parabolic, comes down, crashes, stabilizes, and then eventually it starts to go back up and climb, just like the Umbreon, if the card is desirable, right? Some cards will stabilize and they will fall and they will just remain stable. Not every card is going to go back up over time. Now, this is just my opinion. It could be an unpopular one. And I would like y'all to comment and let me know what you think down below. But I do think that Surging Sparks, when I mention like some sets that are starting to heat up, right, is this one. So 151 was also a great set, right? That was a great set. Most of the sets have like one or two hitter cards. If you have more, it's probably because you appreciate the artwork inside of the set. If you just love the art, right? But we're talking about the money cards, right? Pikachu EX being one, the Latios, the Latios. You have some trainer cards in this set. You have the Gold Pika. There's a few big hits that's worth money right now inside of this set, which means this set is probably going to carry its weight over time, especially post-era for Scarlet and Violet. I would definitely say that if you can get a first print booster box of this now and hold it in a stash, hold that Surging Sparks, it will definitely be worth holding in a stash over time. Now, myself, right, I've kind of slowed down on sealed product. I know sealed products where it's at. It goes up in value. It looks beautiful in the back. I'm starting to transition because I have to move soon. And it's really bulky and it's hard to really transport all of this stuff. And that's why I'm kind of going back to collector mode and putting a lot of stuff inside of my binders and completing sets for valuable cards. So if you do stuff like that, and I'll show you guys later, most of you probably know what I'm talking about, is that gets you a top loader binder. Some people hate them. I got me one because the very expensive cards that I want to put together and amass inside of my set are now protected inside of a binder, inside of a top loader, which protects my cards very, very well, especially if you want to travel. And they're not that expensive. I think I paid like 35 bucks for my top loader binder, and it still holds like, 300 cards or something like that of the sort. So just look into that. Yeah, this Pikachu, beautiful right here. So we'll go ahead and move on. We have the Latios EX, another stunning artwork. I love this artwork. I'm kind of sad the Latios didn't get the same treatment. I do think that it also could have been a big hit inside of the set, but just because it's not, right, it's probably hovering right around like 40 bucks, which is fine, right? I think, of course, it has room to move as well over time. This one will as well. Right now, it's $225, so I would consider this the high. They are starting to cool off a little bit, and the recent sales are right around 230 bucks. So give or take 230 bucks for a near mint. You had 240 for an LP, which is the last sale, so it seems like it kind of went up there. But another stunning card. I love, love, love that card. Just like the Latios is starting to boom from the Sun and Moon era. So the Sun and Moon Latios, I got rid of mine. Big mistake. That PSA 10 is probably over $3,000 now, and it's incredibly expensive raw, and it surpassed the Moonbreon. At one time, they were really close to each other, but that Latios combined that forms the heart has surpassed the Moonbreon by far. Right now, at least, right? So the next thing we were going to look at is Terastal Festival. So a lot of people are waiting for the English sets. Now, Japanese has cooled off. It's still worth money. It might be me, but I feel like people are hitting God packs left and right. You pull a hit from every Japanese box, right? So you're going to see a lot of this. In Japan, they're printing a shit ton of these boxes in Japanese. They're not too expensive. I think they start right around 50, 60 bucks. And right now the boxes are hitting right around $95. And that's because of the hype. Right now, if you want Terastal Festival, you have to buy the Japanese boxes. And this is where people are starting to open the packs and get their hands on the artwork. And I do think this stuff will go down as the English comes out and the English will take off. Now, I do think these cards will grow on me as well. There's been a lot of talk about, is this better than Evolving Skies? Because this is kind of like ES 2.0 with evolutions. My opinion, and I'm not saying it just because I'm an ES fan, right? I think Evolving Skies looks better. Terra is cool if you do it right. And I do think some of these cards look good. But I am not a fan, honestly, of these over Evolving Skies. I like the clarity of the artwork, the beauty of it on Evolving Skies. The Terras here, I love the colors that pop. I love the characters. I love what they did. But yeah, there's a lot of great artwork, especially the Sylveon. I think this is right there at the top for one of the best cards in the set. Now, of course, the top card in the set is not the Umbreon Terra, right? Terra card is going to be the Master Ball Umbreon. So right now, the Master Ball Umbreon is extremely rare, right? It's the rarest card to hit inside of the entire set, going for roughly 340 bucks. That's or best offer, so probably cheaper if you look at 130point.com. And a lot of these cards are not going for too much. Like you have your Sylveon, I mean, it's 180 bucks. That's still expensive. If you kind of compare it to like when ES came out, the Sylveon was more on the cheaper side. And then you have that's just a Pokeball. Okay, so $8 is not bad for a Jolteon Pokeball. And then you have a Master Ball. So the Master Balls are going for some decent money, right? You have your Flareon going for 65 bucks. You have your Eevee, that's one of your big hits, going for 45 bucks. And then you have your Flareon going for 200. That Flareon is fire. I do like the Flareon. And I also really like the Palafin. The Palafin EX is not going for a ton, but it's a really cool looking card. And of course, the Umbreon Pokeball is only going for $25. But there's a lot of big artwork. And then the second biggest hit right here is the Umbreon. And this right here is going for roughly $284. So not that much. I mean, it's under $300. I mean, it's still expensive, especially for a new set. But when we're like comparing it to Evolving Skies and where the Umbreon evolutions are at right now, I do think these are going to climb, especially higher prices than Japanese. As far as the English set goes, there's going to be a lot of hype driving it, market manipulation, a lot of hype, right? I do think the prices could go parabolic for a little bit, kind of go up, but it's really hard to say if they are going to surpass Evolving Skies. I mean, because I think the older Evolving Skies gets and the way they're cracking these packs on Whatnot and stuff like that, they're going to continue to go up over time. And I see ES more comparable to a set like Team Up, where that box now is crazy. It's like $2,500, $3,000. Whereas a ES box is going for like $750, $800. So ES still has a lot of room to move as far as the sealed product goes, which could carry some of these smaller cards in the set, the evolutions up there with that Umbreon, the Moonbreon from Evolving Skies. Now, I would not dump all of your money into Terrestrial Festival. Of course, it'd be cool to hit some of these cards. They are money makers. They will carry value. This set will probably be one of the best in all of Scarlet and Violet. And I'm sure it will probably be better than Surging Sparks, even though I think that's a huge contender right now. But we also have to bear in mind we have the Team Rocket set coming out as well. That set, I hope Pokemon knocks it out the park. I believe they will. It's been roughly 20 plus years since we had a Team Rocket set. And there's going to be a lot of hype drivers behind that, especially if the artwork is really nice. And that set could eclipse this one. But we have to wait and see more of the artwork and what it's going to look like for the Team Rocket set. And also bear in mind, right, when you have catalysts like this, having a Terrestrial Festival set can also push up the Evolving Skies set because it gets people back in and looking at that set that's comparable to this one. And it's going to be the same for Team Rocket, right? I mean, I would expect your Team Rocket sets, your first editions, your early era, right? Even your Team Rocket returns to start to build even more in value because they're going to start looking at those cards as they get back into the market. So the last thing I really want to look at is this right here. We were talking about the promos for Prismatic Evolutions. This sold out not too fast, but pretty quick, right? It did sell out. I messed up and didn't grab it. And I wish I did because I do not know if they were going to restock it. And the Pokemon Center promo is an Eevee, a sleeping Eevee, which I'm sure is going to be valuable. At least comparable with that Snorlax. Like, this is going to be an expensive promo. I mean, it's Eevee, right? So hopefully this comes back in stock. If it is, I would jump on this. $60 a pop. I guarantee the Eevee promo will end up being more than the ETB on the Pokemon Center for like $60. If anything, you still get all of those packs. So I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Let me know what else you guys would like to see. Thanks for tuning in, dropping by, and dropping in comments and stuff like that. I hope y'all have a happy holidays. Be safe. And I will be back soon with more content. I'll show y'all the stuff I have in my collection as well, what I've built up. And I'll be back soon. I'll see y'all later.